Are you extremely afraid of being judged by others? Are you very self-conscious in everyday social situations? Do you avoid meeting new people? You might want to watch this video. What's going on? Big Daddy here, and this is why you don't have friends. In this video, you're gonna learn what social anxiety is by definition, how to distinguish social anxiety from shyness. People sometimes use them interchangeably, but you'll learn today they are not the same thing. The symptoms to look for that may indicate you have social anxiety, and at the end, I'll share with you a simple, foolproof, medical-grade, two-step process that you can use to annihilate social anxiety. But first, a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. Do not treat this video as a replacement for a medical diagnosis. That's the end. What is the definition of social anxiety? I'm going to read you the definition here. The defining feature of social anxiety, also called social phobia, is intense anxiety or fear of being judged, negatively evaluated, or rejected in a social or performance situation. People with social anxiety may worry about acting or appearing visibly anxious, blushing, stumbling over words, or being viewed as stupid, awkward, or boring. As a result, they often avoid social or performance situations, and when a situation cannot be avoided, they experience significant anxiety and distress. That's the definition of social anxiety. So what's the difference between that and shyness? Well, shyness is completely normal in the words of one doctor I came across in my research. Think about shyness as the feeling of being slightly guarded and hesitant to expose or share real truths, deep secrets, or vulnerabilities about yourself with someone that you may have just met. This is perfectly reasonable and could even be considered intelligent. I know for sure I often won't share the deepest truths about myself when meeting someone for the first time, and if that makes me shy, fair enough. But that's definitely not social anxiety. The key difference between shyness, that completely normal feeling that everybody experiences sometimes, and social anxiety is that the latter one can completely dominate and destroy your life. It's far more serious in that sense, all right? For the record, I had both shyness and social anxiety growing up, but this video is not about me, it's about you. And speaking of the most important person in the universe, how do you know if you have social anxiety? How do you know? My lawyer said to tell you that the only way to know for sure is to go visit a licensed medical practitioner. But if you want to get a good idea without having to leave your house, pay attention to this next bit, all right? We're going to talk about the list of symptoms, the most common things you might experience if you have social anxiety, all right? This list comes straight from the medical community, so presumably these are the same types of questions that you might receive if you were to go in for a doctor's visit, okay? Now, the more of the following questions that you answer yes to, the more likely it is that you have social anxiety, all right? Do you avoid social situations or feel dread and worry about everyday normal activities such as meeting strangers, going to work, classroom participation, answering a phone call, buying groceries, getting on a bus, ordering food, eating in public, going on dates, and so on? Do you feel paranoid and afraid of being watched and judged negatively by others? Do you often feel overly self-conscious, embarrassed, and awkward? Do you ever experience heart palpitations, blushing, sweating, trembling, dry mouth, shallow breathing, an overly quiet and constricted voice, nausea, an inability to make eye contact, that weird eye twitchy thing, your mind going blank, or even panic attacks in stressful social situations? Do you prefer to communicate virtually rather than in person? Do you only have 1 or 2 friends and feel like you don't want more? Do you make excuses not to go out to places or events where socializing might take place? Do you get overwhelmed in a crowd? Do you sometimes tune out when in a group of people, unable to contribute to the conversation, instead retreating into your own head? Do you ever find it scary and difficult to be around other people, especially those you don't already know, and have a hard time talking to them, even when you wish you could? If you answered yes to the majority of those questions, there's a good chance you have social anxiety. Now, to summarize that, if the stress of social situations dominates your thoughts and causes you to change your plans or gets in the way of everyday activities, it's likely you have social anxiety. So, what do you do about it? First, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and do that right now, because I'm going to be sharing loads more tips about how to beat social anxiety. No one single video is going to fix everything for you, but over time, these lessons can make a real impact on your life. They have made a real impact on mine. And I lived the majority of my life crippled by social anxiety. I'm not perfect now, but compared to my previous self, I'm a goddamn superhero. And you can make that same kind of change. If you're still here, you're wondering, what is that simple two-step process I teased you with in the beginning to annihilate social anxiety? Now, I want to warn you, when I break this down, it may sound so simple that you might not believe it's possible. You might think it sounds too good to be true. I want to caution you that if you suffer from social anxiety, do not overlook this simple two-step process. This is a medical grade solution. The problem is that many of you with social anxiety simply won't take the time to do this. Here are the 2 steps. Without any further ado, step 1, meditate for 5 to 10 minutes every day. I suggest you work up to 20 or 30. All right, step 2, continually expose yourself to the objects of your anxiety as often as possible. That's it. Repeat until social anxiety disappears or becomes manageable. I'd love to explain exactly why this 2-step process works right now, but the video's gotten a bit long, so I'm gonna save it for another time. What I want you to do now is click either the like or the dislike button below. If you've watched this whole video, you've got a feeling, so just express it. I don't mind if you dislike it, just don't be indecisive. Pick a thumb, any thumb, and click on it. You too. I know some of you didn't do it. I'm talking to you as well. All right. Now everyone has done that. I want you to scroll down to the comments below, and I want you to let me know your thoughts about this topic. Do you think you have social anxiety, or have you had it in the past? How has it affected your life? What would it mean to be free from social anxiety? Some people just live with it, but for some desperate others like me, setting myself free meant everything. Where do you fall? Does social anxiety ever get in the way of your dreams, your goals, the success you crave? How would learning to navigate social anxiety change your life? Remember, exposure to the thing you're scared of will help cure your social anxiety. So if you don't usually express your opinion, you can do it here in the comments. I, Big Daddy, will not judge you negatively for it. On the contrary, I'll have a biased sense of respect for you and anyone else who engages here in my cult followings. So now you know what social anxiety is. You know how to distinguish that from shyness. You know whether you have it or not. At least you have a pretty good idea. And you got a simple 2-step process to actually work on it. Again, that's meditating 5 to 10 minutes a day. Try to increase that number, and then continually exposing yourself to the thing that scares you. Over time, those two in tandem can have a serious impact. And in another video soon, I'll tell you exactly why, and we'll talk more about this topic. For now, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you, Mr. Alex Walton. You got it for me.
Actually, I go by Big Daddy now, but anyway, Joe, my pleasure. See you next week. Thank you so much for sitting through almost 8 minutes of me. That's amazing. Really appreciate it. So, as you may or may not know, this is video number 6, which means I have 5 more before this. And that's basic math. And if you haven't seen those first 5, I suggest you check them out. They're awesome. Thanks.